What? I can't even fathom what to think about this. No game is safe from competition. Once someone does something right, the herd follows. We practically have dozens of Mario 64s just with a little repolish. This is fine though, because this is a good thing. It allows everyone to share a piece of the pie, and in many instances, developers find ways to make their rendition of a concept unique. Well, let's turn the clocks back to the 1990s, where arcade fighting games took over the scene. Titles like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat reached the public and quickly found fame and success. It was an easy way to have some quick fun and stay competitive with friends. And to top it all off, this began the birth of a phrase that would carry through more decades than developers could have possibly imagined.
Fatality.
Mortal Kombat featured a game-ending finisher known as fatalities that allowed players to shine in the glory of a hard-fought victory with the gruesome and entertaining murder of the enemy. The amazing thing about this is each fighter was completely unique. This concept caught wind so well that many would change fighters just to see what the fatality would be. As years moved forward, advanced graphics and computing power allowed these finishers to prosper into the cinematic horrific fatalities that we know today. But would you believe me if I told you that these finishers were once not the most gruesome on the market? Well, as competition leads to innovation, allow me to introduce Sega CD's Eternal Champions, Sega's answer to combat the fighting phenomenon, Mortal Kombat. Eternal Champions was initially released on the Sega Genesis in 1993. The Eternal Champion, an omniscient being, attempts to restore balance to the universe. He does this by resurrecting one of 9 key individuals whose death was determined as untimely. In order to determine who gets the honor of a second chance, he temporarily resurrects these individuals and sends them to a fight to the death tournament, where the victor gets to rise from the grave. This sets the foundation of the game and pushes players into the 1v1 brawl they have been seeking. In terms of gameplay, there was nothing too special about this title. It was exactly what you would expect it to be, and it generally mirrored that of its competitors. Where Sega aimed to stand out, however, was where they felt was most important to the users. The gore, the death, the fatalities. Eternal Champions looked to create an experience of torture and over-the-top death that would make Mortal Kombat seem tame. And it kinda worked. You must remember the limitations of graphics at this time. Sure, nowadays, Mortal Kombat constructs some of the most gruesome death in games, but back when you could see the pixels, this was a hard task. Mortal Kombat had the concepts down pat, but missed where Eternal Champions shined: the creativity. Each of Eternal Champions' overkills, aka fatalities, featured stage-altering events with unique mechanics that brought the world to life. Just look at this one. A dinosaur creeps out from the side of the stage, devouring the enemy as we just watch him chew. We can see him swallow as bones and blood continue to pour out of his mouth. It's gruesome. And I just have no words for this one. Eternal Champions achieved this through prioritizing maps over characters. You would see pillar designs turn to snakes and rip a champion apart. Mortal Kombat at the time had quick but gory deaths, such as slicing someone's head off or splitting them in half. Sure, this was wildly successful at the time, but I just want to sit back and awe at something. This man literally gets burned at the stake, and we watch him scream and melt. If you think I'm just picking out a select few, you're wrong. Every overkill was distinctively unique and brought something new to the table. One literally watches fish pierce through a champion before devouring his eye. Who is this? Where'd this girl even come from? Anything and everything can kill you. Hooks, sharks, blade death machines, the list goes on. Like, I just don't see any way that you can compare this to this. Eternal Champions took game-ending finishers to a whole new level. They took a concept owned by Mortal Kombat and one-upped them tremendously. Unfortunately, however, Eternal Champions would be cancelled only a few years later. Sega also developed another fighting game titled Virtua Fighter. This game was marketed heavily in Japan, and Sega felt that Eternal Champions was taking away the potential market for Virtua Fighter in the West. Sega decided to cut one game, and Eternal Champions took the chopping block.
Fatality.
Eternal Champions has become the black sheep of Sega games nowadays. Many companies have looked to revive this series in one way or another, even in the likes of a potential animated series, but Sega rejects all ideas. Maybe this has to do with the gore in today's society, or potentially just a lack of interest in the project. I would like to wonder what this game could have been, given it had time to evolve with graphics and game capabilities. It would be hard to compete against Mortal Kombat nowadays, but it would be fun to see Sega's take on the niche. Okay, this is just absurd. I hope you all enjoyed. It takes me a lot of effort creating these videos, and I would be so thankful if you could smash that like button. This helps YouTube push my videos to new users and expand my audience. If you want to see more gory, creepy, or disturbing things in games, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.